In the year 2015, we noticed something that could not be ignored. Africa was lagging behind in the 2D animation space. Spoof Animation was founded with one clear goal: to advance the animation space in Africa, starting from Nigeria.
When we began Spoof Animation, we were just like we're just kids basically. I think I remember I just finished secondary school and I was really looking forward to have an experience in a creative space, and I loved drawing, I loved painting, and getting to meet Mr. Ayodele was like a life-changing thing for me. And me and my friend Collins, we actually went through a training with Mr. Ayodele, and after that training, and it come like, let's start a company. Let's call it Elixir Studios, and from Elixir Studios becomes Proof Animation, and we began like that, just like five of us. And from there, it was more of we just want to prove ourselves to the world. We just want to show people that we can do this right here in Lagos, Nigeria, Africa.
We've grown so much that you can't hardly say this is one thing. Every aspect of Spoof has grown so much. The people, our characters, our stories, our animations, everything has grown so much. And one of the things, okay, I'll just say, okay, one thing is just that our growth is very visible in every area of Spoof.
We wanted to build a place that would house the best artists in the animation field, alongside passionate young artists united by creativity and shared love for animation. A place where ideas comes to life, where artists can learn from one another, and where having fun is just as important as the work itself.
Back then, Spoof was, I would say it was a group of guys just doing stuff really. And there was there were a lot of departments. There was the comic department, there was the animation department, and there was the arrangement too. I remember starting out in the comics department, and that was back then. Over the years, there's been a lot of growth. I've noticed a lot of growth, a lot of changes. If there's anything that is a constant in Spoof, is a thing that we can state to be as revamping, because in Spoof Animation, we don't stay in one place at the same time or for too long. Don't stay in one place for too long. We like to change things, like to see how we can make things better. And I think over the years, there's been a lot of growth. Yeah.
Spoof was actually bettered from Comic Pane Academy, where we went to meet Mr. Ayo and we trained for about 7 months. So I was like, okay, what do we do? Instead of me sending you guys away, what do we do? Then that was when God said, do 2D. And I would say it has been growth since then. It has been growth, and it has been, those kind of growth that doesn't come easy. We went through everything in order for us to grow, because we wanted a success story. We wanted a case whereby if we are going to put in our life into this thing, it does make sense at the end. And I did say right now, it's making sense.
It's been 10 years and it's been awesome. It's been a roller coaster ride, Spoof has, we've gone through a lot, Is it from when we started, from not even knowing what it means to run an animation studio. I remember when I started, when I had the vision, in my room, my parlor there, and I got that inspiration from God to say, look, do animation, do 2D animation. It was a scary moment, knowing that you are going into a field that a lot of people are running away from. Because if you remember, at that moment, Disney had already closed its 2D department, so people are all doing 3D. Everybody was doing 3D, So for us now saying we are doing 2D, it was a very, very big challenge for us. I remember us starting, in a small space, that was given to us by our good uncle, Mr. Jayojo, that supported us and believed in us and said, look, guys, come and use this empty space. And we've grown, from that space, I remember talking to Osas and Collins, who are now top executives in Spoof Animation. Osas is now our managing director / creative director, while, Collins is the head of story. I was talking to them, they were like the founding, fathers who had the idea first for me and said, sir, let's go for it. This is a good idea. Starting from that small office and growing from that office, we moved from Ogba, that small space in Ogba. We moved to Fagba, a 3-bedroom flat in Fagba. We moved from Fagba, we moved to that's General at Akugbe Road, here, and then we are now in our duplex here in Elegba. So it's been growth from growth, and I think one of the things that Spoof has really done is we've been able to grow. We're always growing, always improving. Our first break was in South Africa when we won the Digital Lab Africa competition. That saw me pitch, in Johannesburg, and then I was given a residency in France, to be in France for one month, and I also attended NSC. So it's been great from one journey to the other, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what God has done for us.
We wanted to tell African stories using animation in a way that have never been done before.
First of all, I think it's our storytelling. I think we love telling stories. And I think a lot of people make that mistake. They think storytelling means writing scripts. But storytelling, it's the whole process. It's about how the script is written, how the storyboards are done, how the scenes are framed, how the animatics are done, and how the animation comes out. So for us, I think we have a very rich storytelling background, because for me, I'm a writer, director. So I think I brought that into the company and infused it in all the staff, that everyone is telling stories. Whether you're taking a picture, you are drawing a frame, you are drawing a comic panel, you are telling a story. So we are very story driven. I think that's the number one key, because most of our clients have come to us because of that storytelling, that type of storytelling, whether it's from Underneath Earth, from David Kirkman, to other people who have, maybe Ashley, who has also worked with us on Namakasi. They've seen that storytelling that we give, and they want to be a part of it. I think the second thing I would say is the action. We love action. We love the bars, bows, the fighting, the punches. Because we grew up with Marvel and DC and all these action films, and we love to experiment on that. I think people love that. If you look at our portfolio, look at the clients we've worked on, a lot of them have come to us also because they love the way we depict action. Whether it's Heartline Comics, who've done some stuff with these characters, brought them from comics into animation. We've had a number of independent comic book publishers turning their comics into animation, and I think the action, we know how to do action in Spoof. We know how to tell that action story, in Spoof. Then finally, the excellence, the quality of the work. It's surprising when you hear people say, oh, was this done in Nigeria? I think there was a job we did. Yeah, it was Namakasi that we worked on. Someone saw it, I think in Germany, and was like, he thought it was an American student that worked on it. then someone in the comment section had to correct them. Look, it's Nigerian. They're based in Lagos, Nigeria. So our quality stands for itself. The excellence matches anything that you see on any DC, Marvel, or even Warner Bros. Any of these major productions. We try our best to meet that quality and to give it that standard that anybody from all over the world will have that global feel and feel like this is something that is not just Nigerian, it has global appeal.
Today, we look back with gratitude. The journey was not easy. There was long nights, limited resources, and moments of doubt.
Well, I think that Spoof started at a time when the industry was not as established as it is right now. I think we entered the industry, when a lot of people were actually giving up on 2D animation. So many people had gone into 3D, we were like the only ones saying, look, 2D animation is what the future is, and we saw something in 2D animation that maybe other people did not see. And so it's been challenging, coming from that dream of having a 2D animation studio in Nigeria to what we have now.
I came from a home where art is not really regarded as much. I mean, almost every creative people have that backstory. And I think that was the first motivation, because I felt like I need to make these people see that art is something. And for a few years, that was my motivation. However, after some years, and I realized that, okay, this thing is more than just trying to prove to people. I started enjoying doing these things. I started enjoying doing the art. I started enjoying, seeing new projects, seeing new characters, making the characters move and all that. I started enjoying telling stories. So for me, I say there is almost nothing motivating me except myself. Like, I just want to keep creating.
When I first joined Spoof, the only thing I wanted to do was comic. I wanted to color comic, draw comic. Anything animation was not even in my head then, And there's one thing about Spoof is Spoof always being the best out of you, So over the years, I found myself, doing some other things like background painting, and for me, I've changed a lot. Even in my works, I've really improved a lot.
Having to start working in Spoof, starting from the academy, being an intern, being a staff, and now an animation director and supervisor actually, it has really helped me to improve my drawing skills, my storytelling skills, learning from our art director, our head of story, and animation supervisor at that time. That really shaped me, that helped me grow in terms of my skills and how I see things, how I see animation, and now I can make it better. And also, I think at one time we had an external supervisor who teach us how to draw when I was having issues in drawing certain body parts, anatomy wise. So those lessons has helped me become a better animator and better person in Spoof animation.
I'll say one of the things that has really encouraged me is the people that has gone before us. Like, you hear stories about studios even outside Nigeria who went through similar things that we are also going through now. You hear about some Japanese studios, you hear about studios like even MAPPA, you hear about studios like Powerhouse, where they went through very, very tough times. They went through very tough periods. There's a period of proving yourself as an animation studio, maybe even up onto production houses. There's a period where you have to prove yourself. And I would say that's one of the things that, even though it has been difficult and there has been wins and all that, I believe that the era we're in a period where we have to prove ourselves, and then after that we're going to come out strong. The dream is to be one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, to take on the biggest projects. And I believe it's something that we can do. I see the team growing every day and moving towards that goal. And it's also a goal that I am also passionate about. So yeah, that's one of the things that has kept me here. the dream is strong, the dream is real. Yeah.
Cheers for Before I ask questions, I would like to invite some of my crew members who worked on the project to just join me on the stage so that I won't be the only one to answer the questions. I'd like to call, I think, Osas Akugbe. He was on the background supervisor for. Let's give a round of applause. Collins Momodu, please join me on stage. Wale, please come as well. Is John Baz there? Okay, John Baz, please come. I think those are the major guys who are still around. All right, so Ajaka is a love letter to our history, our past. You know, even though how rugged and rough it was, we need to celebrate it and all that. We try to fantasize and bring the fantasy and to elevate the story a little bit, you know, so that the audience can, the generation of now can enjoy those old stories. Okay. So I don't know. Before we take questions, I just want to say one or two words, at least just to, you know, appreciate them for the work they've done. So just say one or two things about your role on the project.
Well, I don't know about other people, but what I would say is our core values, and also how we are able to bond well and work together, because whenever we have a project, everybody like come out together and we make a plan and everybody will give their opinion also. So for me, what I feel like that make us stand out is because everybody's opinion matters, and we look into it and be like, okay, and we make sure that whatever we are delivering to the client is something that we know that we can do, and we always give our best.
You know, in Spoof, we have our core values, which we call please. That's passion, love, excellence, accountability, speed. I feel those core values have really held us together and has really helped us grow the brand. You know, in Spoof, we say if you're not passionate in Spoof, then you shouldn't be in Spoof. You know, we always, for me personally, I always talk to the members of staff, tell them, look, if you're not passionate being here, if you feel that animation is not what you want to do, then maybe you should go somewhere and work somewhere. So we don't keep people who are not passionate about animation. We love animation genuinely in Spoof. We love creating animation. We love seeing the end product for animation. So everyone in Spoof is passionate, and I think it's a very unique value that we have in Spoof that kind of gives us an edge, you know, in the industry, because everyone is passionate. We love each other. We love our clients. We're one big family. We call ourselves a family, even though we play as a team. We love each other. We have fun. We play. We watch each other's back. All for one for all. You know, there's this camaraderie in Spoof that when you come to Spoof, you can see that family. You know, that love. You know, in the team. Then of course, excellence. We believe excellence is a journey. From when we began 10 years ago, and now you must have seen the growth, you know, in our quality. We believe that excellence is a journey. We are not there yet, and we believe we are still going somewhere. Then, of course, accountability. I think accountability helps us to be grounded. It helps us to be grounded with our clients, to know what the client wants. We're always asking questions, asking for feedback. We don't believe that we know it all. We're always asking for that feedback from the clients and even from ourselves, to see what we've done and criticize ourselves and be accountable to ourselves, be accountable to the story, and be accountable to the standards that we have given ourselves here in Spoof. And of course, finally, speed. You know, we don't like wasting time. You know, we believe that whatever we have to do, let's do it quickly. And everyone is always busy, you know, from 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. We are always busy. We're not distracted because we know we need to deliver this project and deliver it on time, you know, and on quality. money was a very big issue for us because when I had the idea of starting Spoof, I didn't have anything. I was broke, didn't have money. I couldn't have money to rent an office, So what that meant was that we needed to be creative and look inwards to find ways of actually bootstrapping the company. I feel probably if you had more money, probably would have been able to move faster, in terms of so many things I've been wanting to do that we couldn't do when we started. So money, yes, the finance. Secondly, I think the skill gap. There was a huge skill gap of what I saw in my mind of where I think Spoof should look like and the skill set that we had. Many people may not know this, but Spoof actually started as an illustration company, because we didn't have people who could animate at that time. We just had people who could illustrate. So we started with book illustrations, doing book illustrations for book publishers here and there, doing comics and all that. So we used that to actually hone our skills to be able to now start learning animation. So I think the skill gap, it took us a while to be able to get into that, standard of animation that we actually wanted to. And I think the final one I would say is probably maybe human resources, finding the right kind of people to work in Spoof. Because we found it difficult to actually find people who loved animation and who knew about the 12 principles of animation out there. We ended up starting our academy to be able to train people in our own style, the way we know how to make animation. And we've been able to do that. We had like different cohorts of interns, apprentices, students that we've trained over the years that we now call staff and now currently working in our studio.
Funny thing about challenges is some you have to create yourself in order for you to grow. And I think one of the challenges that are quite internal are the ones whereby we always tell ourselves that our next project must beat the one we are doing right now, and the one we are doing right now must beat the previous ones we did. And because of this mentality, it actually pushes us crazy. And I remember when we did, I think, Strygard, the first one, that was year 2016, 2017, around that, that time. We did not even know much about animation, but we gave it our all. And after that, we tried to, I think after like some couple of years, we went back into, Strygard again and decided to, create a much more larger universe and stuff. And that was when that challenge came back again. We're like, we must beat what we've done before. And this has been happening over time and over time. And I did say it's actually a nice challenge, come to think about it. And how we're able to tackle this is by growing. We had to grow. We had to set up an educational system in a studio whereby we keep learning non-stop. Every month, everyone has a skill that they must improve, and these skills are going to be appraised. And that is how we were able to, it's 10 years, but we were able to fast track our growth so that, and stuff like that. So for the external one, we kind of do get criticism a lot. And I remember when we did our first comic titles, Strygard, Boxer, Vantage, Jinx, and the likes, it got crazy backlash. People were like, the art is this, the art is that, the writing is this, the writing is that. Some people were even like, we should just give up, making comics and stuff. And funny enough, some of these comments kind of got to us because we are human beings, hello, and we have hearts. We just want to make cool stuff. And we kind of had to just focus on 2D for the meantime. And we're like, okay, I guess people, I guess the market is harsh. And so we just had to focus on 2D and focus on, other things that we love doing. And doing well. And after some years, we hit the comic industry again. And we didn't let that stop us. We did not let that stop us. We went back into comics, and now we are doing cool stuff. We have more titles, more issues on the same characters. And I did say better story, though thanks to those people that criticize us, we're able to also look at, okay, what are those things that they add issues with, and how can we, make some arrangements and fix them to make the comics better and storytelling as a whole. So yeah, we keep growing. That's how we're able to, hit our challenges.
I'll say it's our storytelling. We have a unique way of visualizing stories, which people have come to realize that spoof animation, not just we don't just do quality animations. We know how to tell stories. We know how to put simple stories into emotional or sad or exciting moments. Then also our ability to create action sequences. Spoof is known for that, like creating those fantastic fight scenes, those epic moment fight. Like it's just crazy. Like just blows your mind.
Our eye for quality and excellence. That's one of the things that makes us stand out. We are always we have this saying in school that we'll never have a better yesterday. We always try our best to do better than what we did before. We always go for a better way of doing it, a better way of doing our cleanup, a better way of doing our animation, our composition, everything.
One of the things I would say that makes Spoof stand out in this space, in this industry, Nigeria and Africa as a whole, I would say is our resilience. That's now internally makes us stand out a lot. I would say that something that differentiates us from every other studio, I would say, is our pursuit of excellence. How when we put something out there, people know it's going to be heavy, it's going to hit, and it's going to be really, really good. It's going to look good. I'll say another thing that makes us stand out is that we're a truthful company. We're very truthful. We are truthful to our fans, we are truthful to our staff, truthful to everyone, and we are open like that. A lot of people, when they go through our social media pages sometimes, and then when you meet them outside, they say, wow, we really love your studio. You can tell how you guys love each other. You guys look like a family there. And it is true. It's not a facade. You see it from outside, and when you come inside, you can really, really testify and confirm and be like, oh, okay, what I saw outside is not just for show. It's actually true. And I say that's one of the things that make us stand out. We are a really, really tight family. Yeah.
I would say quality. The quality is good. The storytelling is good, but we all know it is action. We love action. I mean, I grew up watching DC, Marvel, anime, and all of that stuff, and it was just action and stuff. And I would say if you should check around, the African and Nigerian landscape in the animation industry, spoof animation have been able to hold a stronghold in making very tight action sequences and, putting them in a way whereby you get to watch this action sequence and you're like, whoa, this is dope. And yeah, I think that is the edge. Even though some people are like, oh, spoof animation, is this the only thing you guys know how to do? You just know how to do action and action. And I'm like, saying it right here, right now, that we love action. You have to deal with it.
We are proud of how far we've come, and we are even more excited about what lies ahead.
One of what I hope, for the next 10 years, next decade. It's been a decade now, and wow, looking back, I'm just grateful to God. First of all, I'm happy. I'm very, very thankful to the fans. I'm thankful to everyone that has worked here, everyone that has put in their best, to make sure that we've gotten to this point that we are. But what my hopes are for the future is very, very big, very, very exciting. Want the best deals, that Netflix job, that the biggest animation you get. And we are also coming out with something. We are storytellers, we are filmmakers at the end of the day. We want to show what we can do. We want to show the world, how much we can give out. We still have a lot more to give, trust me. You've not seen half of it. We have a lot to give. I'm hoping that we can actually get there, push that narrative out there, and the world can see us for who we truly are, the best animation studio in Africa.
I hope we achieve all those dreams that we want to achieve, like those plans that our CEO has shared with us. I really hope that this next decade is that decade for us to enter into those dreams, enter into those plans, enter into those future that we've planned for ourselves.
I think it's time for schools to start, getting big gig, getting some contract with Netflix, signing some big contract with big companies in the world. And I think for me, in the next 10 years, I feel that is where school is going to be.
I think there's so much more we have to offer. So much more. So much project, so much story to tell, and so much action to sequence. Honestly, I did say things like Hero Call, Area Daddy, projects that have beautiful characters, beautiful storylines, the African mythology, and I honestly can't wait for you guys to see what we've been cooking in the studio, honestly. And this project that we talk about needs a lot of creative people that have passion for the work, passion for the cause. So feel free to join us, give us a call and stuff like that.
I wish Spoof the best. I wish all of us the best. I wish us more fundings to produce what we love, more greatness in terms of where our animation is going to reach, reaching other countries, reaching Brazil, reaching Germany, reaching all the African countries. I really wish our animation will get to that level where people in different languages can really connect with our animation, connect with our stories.
All right, the future is bright. Currently, we have a 40-man team in Spoof, comprising of 2D and 3D animators. We are hoping to go fully more into 3D in 2026 and beyond. We're hoping to grow the team. My dream is to grow the team to about 200 animators, across the 2D and 3D food chain. I mean, cutting across storyboard artists, illustrators, animators, in between our background artists, 200. That's our goal. Also to really push Spoof into that global space. We want to work on a Netflix project. We want to work on an Amazon project. We want to work with Warner Bros. Nickelodeon. These are the dreams that we have. And we are hoping that with hard work and prayers and God, we'll be able to really break into that American and international market that we feel would really be a part of what we want to do, and see us like a service company that they can rely on and that they can work with.